All right. Well, now today's subject is what kind of bike that you should ride. What should you start off on if you're going to start riding a bike?
Zombie apocalypse.
Me personally, when I first started riding a bike, I started off on a 750. I had a 750 Honda. That was my first street bike. I don't really much care for the 350s or the 300s or the 250s. I mean, I think those are good practice bikes. Practice bikes, I mean, as in going and taking the course, you know, a riding course, because they practice on 250s, and that's perfect. It gets you your basics of what you need to know on shifting and controlling and everything else. I think they ought to start out, you know, if they're going to ride a sport bike, I think they should start out on a 600. Because this little thing right here, that's a throttle. Guess what? If I barely turn this throttle, I'm only going to go 40 miles an hour. You know, I'm in third gear and I'm doing 40 mile an hour. Let off the throttle, I'm doing nothing. What gets people in trouble is when they twist that baby. That's what gets them in trouble. But I think, and if you're going to get on a cruiser, I tell you a good bike to start off on, you know, go straight. I think if you're going to ride a cruiser, a good bike to start off on would be a 650 Yamaha V-Star. I had one of those. It's not a real heavy bike. It's not a light bike. It's not a real heavy bike though. And man, I'll tell you what, it rode smooth. It rode as good as my Road King. And my Road King rides really nice. And the V-Star, you can put luggage bags on it, you know, saddle bags. You can do all that. You can make it a cruiser. And they got the classic and they got the custom. I had the classic. It's got the bigger fenders and, you know, the wraparound fenders. It's a nice bike. I really liked it. I rode that bike for almost 5 years. Put a lot of miles on it. Me and my wife did. But, you know, once you start getting your experience in you know, learning how to control a bigger bike and get more time under your belt riding wise, then, you know, you could even stay on that 650 forever. Hell, you could stay on that 600 RR forever. You don't have to go up to a 1,000 liter bike. Nobody said you had to go buy a liter bike, you know. If you've got some experience on a motorcycle, bump. Then, and if you want to go ahead and go up to a liter bike, fine, so be it. It's your prerogative, man. You know, you can get on it. You can go get that ZX14 if you want it. You can go buy an H2 if you wanted to. It's all in this right here. That right there. You know? Are you going to twist that throttle and go 180 miles an hour? Or are you going to sit back and just cruise? It's the person's prerogative on what kind of bike they want. If you want to buy a 350, buy a 350. If you want to buy a 250, buy a 250. If you want, I mean, you might want to buy a 250 to commute back and forth to work. just because it gets 80 miles to the gallon. Whatever, so be it. But you're wanting a bike to get out and cruise on, I wouldn't get a small bike. I'd go ahead and get a bigger bike. Guess they were going to go. Let's say you get a 250 or a 350 and you're cruising around on it all day long, and you're like, man, it just ain't what I want. I ain't got enough power, you know, because yeah, you're going to want that. You're going to want that power. Sometimes you're going to want to twist that throttle. But then say 6 months down the road, must be a cop up here. They flashed me. You know, let's say 6 months down the road, you're going to want a bigger bike. Go ahead. You know, you're going to want a bigger bike, and then you're going to have to sell that bike, get another bike. Yeah, piss on all that. Just start out with, you know, like a 650 Yamaha or a 600 RR, and then if you want to get more power later on, then look and see about getting a 1000. But oh, you're scary. You're a squid. You're a squid. But anyway, if you decide later on you want to get a 1000 RR or a big cruiser, then do it. But I think you'll be happy on a... That's what happens when you're gay. But I think you'll be more happy on a 600, or... Just depends on the person. That's all it is. Depends on the person. What they want. I don't know. And that, my friends, is a moto vlog. Okay, say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.